but CAR has finally decided that since they're getting an average of about 6 people a day that call CAR and have a problem. Half of them are from the public and half of them are from agents. So CAR thought, well, gee, maybe we should do something about this. So anyway, they're setting up a new program. It'll be up and running in about 6 months, or I'm sorry, 3 months. And what will happen is that people will call, maybe one of your clients will call CAR and say, I've had a real problem with John Smith or Jane Chung or whatever, and I don't know what to do about it. And so rather than just dismiss them as they had in the past, they just refer them to a local board, they're now going to send these people to an ombudsman. And this ombudsman will be the first bite at the apple. He will be a realtor who will be from a different area than the people who are calling are from, who they're calling about. So if somebody calls about you, a realtor from a different area will be the ombudsman, so as not to, get you in problems with your local members. And this person will be trained, and he'll kind of discuss your problem and decide whether it should go to, whether you recommend it should go to arbitration or grievance, or maybe even just go to the DRE, whatever it is. But the interesting thing about it that I thought was that they're going to say, a lot of these people will be complaining about a non-realtor agent. And when they do, basically they're going to just say, gee, we're awful sorry, but maybe the next time you transact real estate business, you should go and see a realtor, because there really isn't anything that can be done about it. We don't have a provision for non-realtors.
Great answer.
So anyway, I think that'll be helpful, and that'll be going. There's several changes, and I don't want to bore you with all the changes, but there's several changes to professional standards that are going to be taken up at the November meeting at NAR. One of them is they're going to add sexual orientation to the protected classes. You're all excited about that, I'm sure. They're going to relax the requirement for a full name on all your publications, where you used to have to put your full business name. Now you can get by with just putting, this is with social media, Twitter and all of that. You don't have to put out Thomas O. Berge, Realtor. I can now put Tom. The only problem is I have to be able to have something on there that sends me back to my website, which has my full name. I don't know, really understand it, but you probably all do. And ask my son the other day. And realtors, the last one that I thought was important, the realtors will now have to identify themselves when they're calling another realtor. When you call another realtor, you have to identify your position.
This year I am pleased to represent you on 5 different committees. I am on the International Real Estate Forum, I'm Key Contact Committee, Legislative Committee, the MLS Computer Committee, and as Lynn had indicated, I'm Vice Chair of the Expo Committee. The Expo Committee is, every year, at the end of the year, we have our big California Expo that we all go to. That's the committee, and there is a select, it's a small advisory group. There's only 15 members, and they're hand-selected, and it is a commitment. And fortunately, we have 2 representatives, myself and Ling, on that committee, which is really quite nice. And I have to say we have 3 YPNs on that committee, a small, so it helps give a new flair, a new idea for new things coming up. I'm going to hit briefly on the Legislative Committee. We approved 6 action items, or we had 6 action items, and all 6 of them were approved by the Board of Directors. Now, I just want to caution, these are suggestions that we come up and we are going to support if they become a matter of legislation. That does not mean that these become rules or laws at this time. They have to go through the legislative process before it gets there. So these are just our stands at this point. First of all, the CAR support SB2, which is called around, if amended to include a requirement that short sale negotiators must be paid by the person hiring them. So in essence, what it is this has to do with the whole bill regarding short sales and short pay, and we do want that. We do want regulations. However, we want something in there that says we as realtors will be paid if we send our client in that direction. So we will approve it if it has that amendment. Number 2, that CAR support SB 53, and that's an omnibus bill that contains various real estate provisions, including a DRE citation and fine authority with a $2,500 cap on fines. And part of that really has to do with, a lot of times there's different things that come up that you see on your bulletin that are fines that people are going to be, there's license suspended or different. So what we're saying is, not everything that's on there is a finable license suspending offense, that maybe some of that could be fines or handled in another way. So it's sort of pulling out some of the infractions so it becomes major, not so major. That CAR support SB 6 as a bill to clarify the exemptions from the appraisal law for evaluation opinions, the BPOs, done under the authority of the real estate licensee. So what that will do is pull in some of those BPOs and say that our licensees, when they do give that, do not have to have an appraiser license. They can do it under their real estate license. The California keep with the existing policy, pursue legislative opportunities as they arise to clarify the law that require a degreed brokers to have an undergraduate degree in real estate or a 2-year of general real estate experience. If legislative opportunities do not present themselves in 2011, CAR will sponsor legislation to achieve the change in 2012. And basically what that's saying is, as we all know, if you have a college graduate degree, you can become a supervising broker. And we're saying, no, you have to have an idea of real estate. You have to have a practical aspect. So if you have the degree with the real estate backing, yeah, then that would hold true. If not, they have to be in the field for 2 years to learn the business before they go out and start supervising others. That CAR support SB 62, allowing local government to expand their postcard notice program to property owners to apply to notices of sale and notices of default. And that's just to expand and do more of when something changes on your title, they send a postcard out to the homeowner saying, are you aware that this transferred? That way, if there is a fraudulent action, then perhaps that can come up right at that time.
The last speaker that we have will be Yinmer.
Thank you. I was in 5 committees and I had to report on 2. However, I also went to a couple different committee meetings, and I'd like to report on risk management. Risk management, they covered 3 different subjects. One of them was lead-based paint. The others were short sale, frauds, and legal updates. Okay, on the lead-based paint, let's see. The speaker who was there commented that most 1960 through 1970 built properties basically had no lead-based paint. And in some of the buildings, only a few places do have lead-based paint. And they were suggesting that we get the property before we sell them to get it certified whether it has lead-based or no lead-based. And he also said that some insurance companies are not offering policies on properties built before 1978 unless you have a certification. So if there's no certification, there's no policy. So far, California does not have insurance companies that do that, but there are 3 states that have companies that are not writing policies because the properties do not have certification regarding lead-based. And the other subject that was very hot during this meeting was short sales and short sales fraud. And we had the assistant commissioner from the DRE come and speak to us, and he made some comments about frauds. The latest thing is that on the HUD one, let me see. Well, first of all, he said all short sale negotiators have to be licensed.